rounds. Introducing to you firstly, in the red corner, wearing the red, blue and yellow trunks. He comes from Talbot Green and weighs in at 10 stone 1 pound tonight. Making his professional debut, please welcome the Snake, Tony Pace. And his opponents across the ring in the blue corner, wearing the black trunks with white trim. He fights out of Malmesbury and weighs in at 10 stone 1 pound also. He enters the ring with an undefeated 3-win career, 2 of those wins coming by way of knockout. Please welcome Joe Hughes. The timekeeper is Colin Roberts. Your referee at the bell is Howard Foster. This is 6 3-minute rounds.
Okay, lads, you both know the rules. Keep it clean, break straight away when told. Both you watch the heads. Good luck to you both. Touch gloves. Good luck, lads.
Joe Hughes in the black, unbeaten, looks a good prospect, seems to have all the tools, just needs a bit of polish. Was expecting to face Chad Gaynor, who had to pull out with a chest infection, so instead gets a very confident looking debutant in Tony Pace, a teenager from South Wales who comes in with a real statement pair of shorts and the snake emblazoned on him, so there's no shortage of confidence from the youngster. Let's see if Joe Hughes can knock some of that confidence out of the young man.
Yeah, well, when you turn pro already, having a nickname that you've chosen yourself and wearing shorts multicoloured and flashes they are, yep, confidence is not an issue. And good solid look about him. I like Hughes. Seen Hughes a couple of times before. I was impressed by good solid little pro. The jab working well for Hughes here early.
Looking to pick those lefts, well known as a left hook specialist, working the jab here. Hughes boxes out of Malmesbury, an ABA title, the only man from Malmesbury ever to do that. Very much a local hero.
Pace not moving his head at all, he's just standing there right in front thinking about what he's about to do, and while he's thinking, Hughes is ramming that jab home. So either step back a little half step, some head movement, or get your punches off a little bit quicker.
It's a tough baptism for Pace, no question about that. A debutant being thrown in against another novice admittedly, but one with 3 wins to his name and who is considered a bit of a prospect, certainly a man with some potential.
Yeah, and he's showing the good head movement that Pace is not showing. You know, he's quite happy to allow Pace to lead, slipping from side to side, head movement before he throws his own punches. Yeah, good defensive work as well there from Hughes.
Pace falling a little bit short with his attempts as well, just not quite in range. Getting through again, there's that left hook we talked about, landed it solidly. Pace took it very well. Doubled up the left hook this time, head to body, and then popped in a jab for good measure afterwards.
Yeah, that was a little sign of quality we saw from him there. Well balanced, you know, solid on his feet when he got those punches off. Developing into a good little pro. Pace has done well, but he's the one making mistakes and being punished for them.
First in again with that left. Now Pace just can't find his range at the moment. One-way traffic. Very much in control. All the damage done with those lefts. Lots of variety. I love the way he switched the hook from head to body, then just popped in a jab afterwards as well.
Yeah, but you see, even when he misses with a punch, Hughes, he's still well balanced. You don't see him exposing himself, you know, to the counter. So good solid look. There's that left hook. That certainly is his best punch.
Come back with your jabs, get bang. Body your head. Body your head.
Eddie O'Kane out of the Paddy John gym in Bristol. Just looks after Joe.
For his little counters he's trying to put it on a little bit. Push him on his back foot. That was when that hook went through. Looking lovely. Stand up from there. Nice deep breath, isn't it? This is
Interesting, isn't it, for Tony Pace? It's welcome to the real world. You can stick the shorts on, you can give yourself a nickname, you can walk the walk, but when that bell goes, you're on your own. And at the moment, he's getting picked off by that jab, but Pace will settle down. Stocky young guy for an 18-year-old. He's got a good physique on him.
Yeah, and he's probably been told he's going to have to raise the pace, take the initiative, and try to take some of that smoothness away from Hughes. I think he's tried to do that with his first couple of attacks there. Didn't quite come off. Again, the head movement of Hughes getting him out of trouble.
Foster had a word with Frank Maloney, who was a bit too close to ringside for comfort.
Well, I've learned a new rule then, because I thought you just couldn't shout instructions from the corner. I didn't know you couldn't do it from the neutral corner, but I'm not going to argue. Howard Foster will know more about that than I do.
We'll send Frank Maloney to the back of the hall.
But I tell you, the day Frank Maloney doesn't get, emotionally involved with his fighters and shouting from the side, no, there wouldn't be. He'll have left the game by then.
Might start shouting at us. Anyway, I don't think he needs his promoter's help here. Joe Hughes looks very confident and very in control of this one. Getting in first, getting out of trouble, picking his man off. Good little left once again. There's another left to the body. He's looking to try and unload.
I tell you, there's some things to like about Pace. He's maybe one of these little kids who, if he had the opportunity, maybe a little bit of the red carpet treatment, he would do well, because he has all the basics. These are good punches he's throwing. But this is, as you've said already, a tough debut.
Yeah, he does look good at the weight. As you say, Jim, putting him in with a real hot opponent for your debut is a tough thing to do. He's trained in South Wales by Di Gardiner, who's been there and done it. I'm sure Di will bring him along very well, but
yeah, but I think with a few decent matches, young Pace could do okay. This is a tough one for him, as we've seen a couple of times, but he's sticking with it, making the best of it.
Looks like he can dig a little bit, Pace. I mean, he's obviously very, very raw. You'd expect that. That's no criticism. But when he does connect, he certainly puts a bit of power behind his shots.
Yeah, it's not always the end of the world losing your debut. I mean, too many fighters start worrying when they build an undefeated record. They start, to create their own pressure. So getting off to not the perfect start shows you straight away how tough this business is.
Better round. It's a better round. Listen to me.
That's Carl Greaves, who's looking after him in the ring.
It's a lot better, right? Because it gives him something to think about, right? Do your jab, side to side, jab, side to side.
Hughes certainly landing the better body shots and more of them as well.
Drop downstairs when you can. Yeah,
but that was a better round for Pace. He got into it, found his range a little bit more.
Yeah, but that's what I was saying. There's things to like about him. He's sticking with it. It's tough, but he hasn't flinched at any time. Having to take a few body shots in the corner. He's been told his head movement was better in that round, which is probably the case.
Suck it up.
So warming up nicely.
Yeah, good. Keep thinking what you're doing. That's a lot better. When you're moving side to side, not staying in front of him, it's a lot better. Yeah?
Carl Greaves saying his movement is much improved. Yeah, really is being chucked in here. Tony Pace, single swim. 6-rounder instead of a 4-rounder against a decent opponent who's a prospect against instead of one of those lovable losers. But, he's I'm not saying he's winning the fight. I certainly wouldn't go that far, but he's holding his own, Jim.
Yep, and I've said already a couple of things to like about him. Just every slip he makes, he's punished for it. Hughes is just so precise. His concentration there. Every little slip, he's ready with a counter.
Great quickness. I love the lateral body movement there as well as he got out of trouble. Again, that jab just sinking in. A little uppercut going there. just letting him know that he can throw punches too. And Pace missed with the first one, but came back with a follow-up, and that landed.
Yeah, and you like the way he's responding. You know, he's trying to hurt, he's trying to knock some of the confidence out of Hughes. See, I think Pace's problem, he puts an awful lot into his punches. You know, he's swinging wildly, he can't time Hughes properly, so he's having to, you know, to lunge in with the shot. He's used up a lot of energy. Whereas Hughes, he's economical, he's solid, plants himself, doesn't waste very much.
That's experience, isn't it, Jim?
Yeah, well, he's only had 3 fights, remember, so he's obviously picked up something here and there in the gymnasium. You know, you can see he doesn't waste much. He's just in front of Pace, just waiting for the opportunity or trying to create it.
Yeah, Hughes been stalking his man, but not finding him with quite such regularity in this round. That left, which has done so much damage earlier on in the fight. And that one gets through. Straight jab again. And he's not had as much success in this round as he had in the previous couple.
Yeah, but I think part of that's because Pace has maybe dropped the pace a little bit. You know, he's not making things quite so hot. He's not forcing a response from Hughes. So Hughes quite happy. I think at this pace he's controlling things.
Quiet around. But again, Pace not in any trouble there at all, as Hughes dropped his pace as well. I think both these guys are probably sitting on their corners, on their stools right now, saying, "Well, I'm okay here."
Just keep working that jab. Stay running that jab. You can beat him to the jab all the time. He backs up to the ropes. Running let that right hand go. The eye speeds are going to touch and throw. So the jabs are going to be the key for this turn. Alright? Touch and throw.
You keep him thinking, moving your head, and get a nice jab working all the time. Yeah, deep breath, sit back. Come on. Yeah. Feeling alright? Yeah. Good lad, deep breath. Yeah.
Aye.
Blowing hard already in there, Tony Pace, isn't he? But, I think you learn very quickly in the pros that it's a different game from the amateurs.
Yep, that's for sure. But I mean, he's coping well in his debut. I mean, it's you dream about your pro debut, so it's a pity when it's as tough as this. He's hanging on in there, giving it his best.
Well, whatever happens, he'll learn a lot from it. And meanwhile, Hughes, you heard him told by Andy O'Kane, just work that jab. It's the jab that'll win the fight. Definitely favours the left hand, does Hughes. I think some of that comes from the fact that he was born with a shortened right arm and has had to work very hard to strengthen that. He says, and his handlers would back this up, that it's not in any way a kind of impediment, but it's a good 2 or 3 inches shorter than the left arm, so I'm sure naturally he favours that left. And he's got good defensive technique, hasn't he? I mean, Pace throwing punches there and just bobbing and weaving and making him miss Hughes.
Yeah, and plenty of top-class fighters who led with their main hand, you know, Barrera, Oscar De La Hoya. I mean, Henry Cooper was left-handed, Henry's hammer. And I mean, it's a powerful left hand young Hughes has, and he brings the right hand in whenever the opportunity arises.
And a good left to the body from Hughes, followed up with the straight jab. And again, Pace being able to miss. He's got an all-round game here, I think. Hughes is getting a little warning there from Howard Foster.
Well, I think, but luckily the heads didn't collide there. But I mean, they both bobbed at the same time, and thankfully they missed each other. But that could have been That could have been a fight finisher if someone caught that in the eyebrow, and referee Foster spotted that. Maybe not seen the same quality in the work that we saw in a couple of the earlier rounds.
Well, he was just unloading at will in that second round in particular, wasn't he, Jim? Took it a little bit easier again in the previous round, and yeah, you're right here, Jim. He's not sort of pouring it on with the same kind of quality that we saw earlier.
I mean, it's maybe because Pace isn't making the same amount of mistakes. He was maybe showing too much enthusiasm the first couple of rounds and being punished for it. Oh, that was lovely.
That was a good one.
Yeah, that's where he's so good. He always has the punch ready and the opportunities there. This is better.
He's economical, he's efficient. He's got a lot of variety with that left hand. His defensive work looks pretty sound. You can see why they think there's something to work with here. Another decent round.
Good round, John.
The young man from Malmesbury.
Way better. Way better. That's lovely.
Yep, that round certainly warmed up as it went along. The quality dipped for a minute or so, but then back to what we've expected from these young men.
Gotta get him on his back.
Entertaining contest. There are the stats.
Keep pushing him back behind your jab.
It's,
Nice solid jab.
one-sided if you look at the stats.
Right.
And it's impossible not to really argue with that, but that's not to say that Pace isn't making a contribution to this fight.
Oh, well, I mean, Hughes is winning the fight without completely dominating, so that's keeping it interesting, it's keeping it entertaining. You know, Pace always feels as though he can get himself back into things, and he keeps trying to do that.
Round 5 then, scheduled for 6. Tony Pace, the debutant from South Wales, in the multicoloured patriotic shorts, being outgunned here by another relative novice, the 3-fight, 3-win Joe Hughes, who's on course for win number 4 unless he takes too many more right hands like that.
I just think one of the problems for Pace, you know when he's about to throw punches. You know, there's a little signal before, whereas Hughes' punches just seem to snap out, especially the jab. You know, it just snaps out without any change of expression.
Yeah, there's a lot of flow to his work, isn't there? It looks natural for Hughes.
Yeah, very precise, very quick.
Pace is thinking about it a little bit. That will come. Decent shots landing upstairs from Hughes. He hasn't really wobbled the youngster. He's been landing an awful lot of shots, especially the left hand. Pace has absorbed them very well.
Yeah, there's a kind of cold efficiency at times in Hughes' work. You know, just stands there ready to pounce. There's the jab again.
Good effort again from Pace, but again he's finding it so hard to connect cleanly. As Hughes makes him miss and then comes back with shots like that. Smooth.
Well, Pace can probably take the film of this fight back and watch it several times just to see the head movement that we're seeing from Hughes. You know, the good defensive work, and he can learn from this, because the kid certainly has the punches. It looks as though he can muster a fair little bit of power if he was landing cleanly. You know, he's well balanced, he has a nice style, so there's no reason he can't have a decent career ahead of him. Just a little bit of work to be done. He's only a kid.
I was just thinking the same myself, Jim. Even though he's getting outclassed on his debut, you're looking at Tony Pace and thinking, there's tools here, there's things you can work with and develop. And I think we're going to be saying in a year or two's time that this Joe Hughes, he could be a good one. You can see why they're getting excited about him. There's a good all-round package with this fella.
Yep, already he's been tipped to make it all the way up. I know it's early days and a lot can happen, but a lot expected of him. These are lovely punches from Hughes.
Yeah, in complete control. Pace on bravery and guts and courage. He's still in there, but that's about it.
Right hand of his over the top is what he's looking for, so we need to be aware of it, okay? He's going to try and bring it this last round.
Yeah, that's good advice from Andy O'Kane. He's going to go for the big KO with that right hand, no question about it.
You know, another round where the precision of Hughes really was impressive. All-out effort again from pace, but not enough accuracy.
Okay, we're lovely. When he comes in, he makes a couple of mistakes, and you punished him for it. Lovely, you keep that.
Don't pressure for the stoppage.
Yeah.
You've got the fight back.
Work for the bell, mate.
It's a very calm corner, a couple of experienced guys working in there.
Yep, and good advice. You know, they can balance the praise with the criticism. You know, put your message across. Although there's not been too much to criticise in Hughes' work tonight.
And I like that message as well. You don't need to go for the knockout because you're in complete control. You know, so often you see guys just tighten up and want to finish it with the big exclamation point. It's not necessary. Hughes is in complete control of this. Another 3 minutes of what we've seen in the previous 5 rounds. He gets a lopsided win.
Yeah, I mean, it's at the learning stage of his career. When you're topping bills, then you're expected to provide the drama, the knockouts if possible, the knockdowns. But at this stage, you're learning the trade. So get the rounds behind, learn what you're doing. Oh, a nice little right hand there from Hughes.
Howard Foster's laying down the law in there. Again, a warning about the head for Hughes. That's about the only thing the only negative that's happened for him tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I've been complimenting his head movement, but a few times he's had to dip a little bit too low just to get away from the punches. So, fair comment.
In first again. Pace, to his credit, is still coming forward, looking to land something.
You never want to send your young fighter out to coast the last round. I mean, the fight is in the bag, but you have to stress the fact, go out and win the round, keep doing it exactly as you're doing, because coasting can be dangerous. If you take your foot off the gas, the other fellow needs to produce in the last round, then you can come a cropper. But thankfully Hughes has kept his mind on the job.
Body shot with that left hand. He's going to feel the right side of his rib section in the morning, Tony Pace, if he doesn't already. And again, all that movement. So disheartening for an opponent who's throwing punches and just can't connect.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really suggest Pace does anything here tonight. He's tried everything. And at the level he's at, you couldn't have asked any more from him, so there's not really anything else he could have done. He's just faced a guy who's a little bit too cute for him, a little bit ahead of him in the game. So he's just going to have to, you know, take his bumps, lick his wounds and come back again. A good left hook there, took it well.
Inside the last 20 seconds or so. And Hughes, I think, is going to hold on to what he's got.
You know, there's not too many young 18-year-olds asked to take part in a 6-rounder, you know, in their debut these days. I mean, the 4-rounder wasn't really in place when I turned pro a long time ago, so a 6-rounder against a good opponent, it's been a tough night's work. He did well, but obviously lost it pretty clearly.
Absolutely. Joe Hughes gets the decision. It was never in doubt, but it is one of those fights that both guys come out of it with a little bit of